How's it going, Laser Bruises? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to Shinrai Broken Beyond Despair. Now we've got to the hotel, we've met all the characters, we're ready to have our Halloween party. We're in our first investigation thing, so we can click on things to learn more. I don't really know what we're aiming for. We can just skip it, but I don't want to do that. Let's notice, ain't that spelled wrong? It is. Both words are actually misspelled. Happy Halloween. The first E should be an A in both cases. Weird. You think it's on purpose? Good question. I can see Rai not noticing, but Runa should have, so... Actually, I did notice a mistake. Miyamoto-san even asked me if it was spelled correctly, but... But what? It was after she'd already finished it. It took her about 3 hours to craft the sun, and she looked so proud and happy when it was done. I simply couldn't bring myself to tell her the truth. Oh, it's all my fault. She'd already misspelled it on the invitation cards. I should have told her before she started working on this sign. I feel so terrible. Please don't tell her. She'd be incredibly embarrassed if she found out. We have to tell her at some point, though. I know. Tomorrow after everyone's gone. Definitely not tonight. Why do you need to tell her at all? Just don't tell her and she'll never know. Alright, gotcha. My lips are sealed. Thank you very much. Poor Rai. I hope Runa really tells her. I mean to be bad if she never learned how to actually spell Halloween. Could really screw her over in life. I think it's the happy one that would be the biggest worry. Doesn't matter if you spell Halloween like that, because it's like thematically nice. But you can't spell happy H-E-P-P-Y. Like, imagine if she wanted to get a job as a pumpkin carver. Who'd hire someone if they ain't got a clue how to spell Halloween? Indeed. That's a job that people have, I guess. Here's your typical bedsheet ghost with patches sewn in it, hanging from the ceiling. Got a very long tongue. This doesn't seem like the shy type of ghost which should hide its face when you look at it. There's a carved pumpkin sitting on this dining table, and doesn't look all that happy. Its eyes are darted at the green cylindrical package that's fallen over. It seems to be empty except for the few remaining crumbs scattered around and inside. Maybe the pumpkin's grouchy because someone ate all its favourite chips. A pumpkin of rather impressive size. It's not the real deal, but a fake one made of plastic. There's some weird stuff drooping from its left eye. Holy crap, the fuck happened to this fella? What's with the bat? And what's that stuff coming out of his eye? No idea. It certainly ain't edible, is it? I don't know, but I doubt any sane person would try to eat something like that. If I were you, I'd not try to eat that. Shit tastes like detergent. Blech. Hi, random hero. Bye, random hero. The fuck was that? I'm not sure. And something else I wasn't sure about was whether I was more shocked about the fact that Hero had actually tasted the stuff, or that he apparently knew what detergent tasted like. The fuck indeed. The fuck? An Okiku doll. How did that urban legend go again? You sure you want me to tell you? Yes. It's just a story about a doll. Dolls ain't scary. Well, if you say so. Don't tell me I didn't warn you, though. Anyway, here goes. The origins of the Okiku doll. She looks scared already. It hasn't even started yet. Long ago, there was a little girl who once owned a doll just like the one you see there sitting on the floor. It was very important to her, and she loved playing with it whenever she could. Sadly, one day the girl died from an illness. Following that tragic event, her parents placed the doll on her altar and prayed for her every day. However, eventually they noticed something very peculiar. What did they notice? The doll's hair slowly began to grow. Once very short, the doll's hair kept growing and growing until it reached its knees. They tried cutting it, but it always kept growing back. The parents finally came to the conclusion that the soul of their daughter had taken refuge inside her beloved doll. They brought it to a priest who placed it inside his temple, and naturally it took the interest of quite a number of people, including scientists. They didn't want to believe that the soul of a human girl was causing the hair to grow, so they tried finding a scientific explanation. Did they find one? They did, right? I mean, there's got to be a perfectly reasonable reason the doll's hair kept growing, right? Unfortunately, they never found an answer. All they could conclude through their research was what? That the hair on the doll's head was actually real human hair. In fact, it was the hair of a young girl. Too easy. Oh dear, but I did warn her. Poor gullible Chan. That wasn't very nice. A pumpkin man. Just like a snowman, but made of pumpkins. He's even got a twig for a nose. Yeah, look at his chest. What the hell's that stuff inside there? It's brain? Why would his brain be in its chest? I don't know. Maybe he ate it. Well, whatever it is, there's blood all over it. This is like totally disgusting. Taking the lower pumpkin's expression into account, it must be delicious. I don't know. But it is. What? Wait, you ate that stuff? Yep. Ew, so how does it taste? It's cherry flavored. Gross. They're just sweets with some cherry sauce poured all over them. Seriously? Yep, seriously. Still looks kind of disgusting. I thought the same when I first saw them. Why'd you try and eat them? Because of Hero. The moment we entered the dining hall, first thing he did was reach into that thing's chest and stuff a whole handful of its contents in his mouth. I couldn't believe it, but he was like, delicious. And told me to try them. Want some? No, I'm still gonna pass on them. Your loss. How about you, Raika-chan? No, thanks. Oh, okay. With a shrug that was basically saying, you don't know what you're missing out on. Momoka turned towards the pumpkin man and reached into his chest. She grabbed a handful of the disgusting looking sweets and threw them into her mouth, happily munched away. Even if they were truly delicious, they didn't change the fact that the mere sight of them made me feel like throwing up. Moreover, I didn't quite fancy getting my hands all sticky by touching them. And on the topic of touching, there was no telling who had already touched them, and if their hands had been clean. If Kotoba, for example, had already eaten from that stuff, I certainly didn't want to touch it, let alone put it in my mouth. Good point. There's a plastic tombstone here. The letters RIP are drawn on it, as well as 4 lines of text below them. What's written here? Let's see. In memory of Momoko, Carmen, Hiro, Raiko, Nobara, Kotoba, Mika, and Runa, who died here on the 31st of October 2010. May their souls rest forever in peace. What? But we ain't dead yet. Well, it's not quite the 31st yet, so maybe it's predicting the future. No, that can't be right. You saying we're gonna die here? I'm not. The tombstone is. This ain't funny, man. Oh, wait a sec. Ain't it missing a couple of names? Indeed. Ri and Taiko aren't listed. So what does that mean? The 2 of them are gonna murder us? Don't worry. It's just a stupid joke. Easy for you to say, Mr. I'm gonna live anyway, and maybe that's because I'm the killer. Hey. I'm definitely not gonna try and murder anyone tonight. And if Raikun should be up to something, I'll put a stop to her mischievous schemes. Like always. I'll still be suspicious of you. Better safe than sorry. Fair enough. Anywho, I really wonder why she spared me though. I mean, it's obvious she wouldn't put herself on that list, but why not me either? Well, I guess she just forgot. Baro-chan and I could only look at each other and exchange desperate smiles. The answer was pretty obvious, at least to us. Then again, Taiko should have been able to figure it out too, but he was a little dense when it came to taking hints like this, I suppose. Oh well, if everything went according to Rai's plan, he was going to find out the meaning very soon anyway. Anywho, just don't take her silly jokes seriously, okay? It's just her kind of humour. I'm still going to tell her that it's going a bit too far though. You know, he's a pretty smart guy, but if after all this time he still hasn't figured out that Rai's got a crush on him, I wonder if he ever will. We'll find out tonight. It'll be either cute and heartwarming or super awkward. I'm going to go for the latter. I reckon it's going to be super awkward. Traditional Japanese sliding doors with translucent paper windows. The first floor hallway lies beyond them. I'm kind of tempted just to open them and escape from here, but... Miss Grumpy! Want to leave already? Even though the party hasn't started yet? Must be a real pain for you being stuck with us childish morons, huh? Oh well, maybe it's the best if you just disappear. That way the rest of us won't have to put up with your gloomy face the whole time. Got nothing to say? What a surprise. Sometimes I wonder if you could even talk at all. Oh well, whatever. Let's try not to drag everyone's mood down. Just stand next to the pumpkin man or something. With your creepy face, you might as well make yourself a little useful and decorate the room. Curses, I'd want to say something, but I hadn't been able to think of anything witty enough in time. Then again, she wasn't even worth wasting my breath. Anyway, maybe she was right. Maybe I really wanted to get away from here and have my peace and quiet. However, I certainly wasn't going to do her that favour. I'd rather stay and then let her feel victorious. Well, of course. Spider? There's a big fat paper spider stuck to the wall. It's the size of a human skull. Mum would probably freak out and break down crying if she saw this. At least that's what happened when Dad brought me a plush spider of the same size. There are quite a few different masks attached to the wall. A fox, a blue ogre, and even a grumpy looking Tengu with a long nose. I don't think they've been placed here specifically for Halloween. They might be part of the usual dining hall decoration. Oh, nice. There's a small alcove over here with a hanging scroll placed at its centre. The scroll depicts a painting of a river meandering through a beautiful forest scenery. There are various signs like this all over the dining hall. Old Japanese proverbs and poems are written on them. This one reads, as they gaze into the distance, from where the cuckoo called, only a waning moon was left on the dawning sky. It's the 81st poem from the Hyakunin Ishu. Okay, what else we got? We can look somewhere else, can't we? Oh my god, there's so much. A car pumpkin with a candle inside. It's radiating an orange glow. There's some bite marks on its right side. This one looks kind of funny. Isn't that the one Mika had a moment ago? Yes. The one that she buried her teeth in? No wonder he looks like that. Poor guy's still in shock. Probably traumatized for the rest of his life. Aku serves him right for tasting so bad. What would you expect a pumpkin shell that was turned into a lantern to taste like? Apple. What? Why? Why not? Looks like an apple. She tastes like an apple. This is a pumpkin. It doesn't look... Never mind, I won't even get into that kind of discussion again. So Raikou admits defeat. What? No. I just fear this might end like that time we argued over dog biscuits and tomatoes. Aku. Mika has bested Raikou in a verbal dispute. This wasn't even a... She's awesome. Oh, whatever. Another dining table with lots of decorations, drinks and snacks on it. What sticks out the most is Kasa Obaki to the left, a typical yokai of Japanese folklore. This one's made of ceramic. This guy. He looks pretty cool. Can't click on that one. There are black paper cutouts stuck to the wall. They're showing graveyard scenery with bats flying through the sky and a giant full moon. A cute plush bat hanging from the ceiling. Kinda want to take it home. Maybe I'll ask Rai if I can have it. Hey, look at them witches. They're kind of adorable, don't you think? Well, I wouldn't really... Holy shit. What? They're on a collision course. What? Look at their flight paths. They're gonna collide. They're probably both after that bat up there. So focused on their prey they haven't even noticed each other yet, and when they do it's gonna be too late. They're gonna crash into each other and kaboosh. Their limbs and guts are gonna rain down everywhere. What stuff are you on, and why would a witch hunt bats anyway? Duh! They need them as ingredients for their potions, of course. Of course. Man, I feel so sorry for them. They're just decorations. Yeah, but still, why would Rai put them up that way? Isn't that like super cruel? I sincerely doubt that was her intention behind it. She's so weird. A big bunch of translucent paper windows with wooden frames lining the wall. It's impossible to see through them. I don't like these paper windows. Why not? Because you can't look through them. Well, you can see a shadowy silhouettes. So you never know who or what's on the other side. I used to have a sliding door with paper windows in my room. Alright, I remember that. I was always scared shitless when Dad came in the evening to say goodnight. His silhouette kind of looked like some disfigured monster or something. A huge, bulky double door, similar to the one at the main entrance. According to the sign above it, it leads outside to the hot springs and forest paths. Oh, nut bunnies. It's locked. You want to take a bath in the hot springs? Hell yeah! I mean, what's the point of coming to the mountain resort that features hot springs if you don't take a bath in them? I was so looking forward to this. Hey, don't tell me that was the reason she had ultimately agreed to attend this party. Maybe we can ask Rai or Luna to unlock it for us. That'll be impossible, I'm afraid. What do you mean it's impossible? The other day when we were decorating the dining hall, Miyamoto-san somehow managed to break off the key when locking the doors. What? The blade's still stuck inside the lock. Of course, we tried to get it out, but were unable to do so. So until the locksmith takes care of it, the lock will stay, well, locked. You gotta be kidding me. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. That's cool. Not your fault. Still, how the heck does one even manage to accomplish that? Well, this is Miyamoto-san we're talking about. Okay, point taken. Maybe we can, like, force it open? Force it open? What do you plan to do, Akadori-san? While Runa looked at her in disbelief, Baro-chan rolled up his sleeves and readied herself to throw his shoulder against his enormous wooden opponents. When I realized she was actually serious about this, I had no choice but to intervene. I wouldn't try that if I were you, Baro-chan. Why not? The wood's pretty thick and sturdy. I doubt any human being would be able to simply force it open. But if you want to smash your shoulder, go ahead. Oh man, this sucks. Well, we're at a party. You can't just disappear to take a bath anyway. Especially not without asking Rai first. Why'd I even come here then? So I'd hit the nail on the head. I think now we just can talk to people. Who are we going to talk to? Talk to Nobara? How you feeling so far? Okay, a little bored though. Yeah, for a party there sure ain't much partying going on. Oh, not much we can do about it. You can't start a party without the host. Besides, I don't mind it being quiet. Then why are you complaining about it being boring? I'm not complaining. It's just that I can't stop thinking about all the productive activities I could be enjoying right now if only I was home. Oh, sorry. It's all my fault you ended up here against your will. It's okay. I mean, of course I still wish you hadn't let Rai talk you into this. No use crying over spilt milk. I just hope the night will go by quickly. Oh, come on, don't be like that. It's gonna be fun. We'll see about that, but enough about me. You seem quite excited. Not getting nervous yet? Yeah, a little maybe. Really wondering what Rai's got in store for us. Oh, it shouldn't matter, right? Huh? Why not? Back home when you came to pick me up, you quite proudly proclaimed you've prepared yourself, and that nothing could faze you now, remember? Oh yeah, What exactly did you mean by that anyway? Well, I played a bunch of horror games last night. Oh? All by yourself? Yes, to mentally prepare myself. Even managed to finish them. Well, one of them. Almost. Like, I was halfway through. I think. Okay, I was just half an hour into it, but still. Must have been pretty scary, huh? Let's just say I wasn't able to sleep after that. So that's why you're so tired. Nevertheless, I'm proud of you for trying it by yourself. With some really creepy, disturbing shit. Whoever comes up with that stuff's gotta be some sick fuck. To be honest, the whole time I'd been wanting to call you over, but it was already 1 AM, so... I see. Anyway, I got you here with me now. The unscarable Raiko-sama. Whatever Rai's trying to scare us with, it won't matter. A little embarrassed, Baro-chan began scratching her cheek and forced herself to smile. My poor scaredy cat, she didn't seem too confident. And frankly speaking, I wasn't either. Considering how much she'd already been startled by Rai's greeting over Mika's appearance, or the hallway, I feared her preparations might have been in vain. By now it should be rather obvious but Baro-chan wasn't the bravest of girls. Everything related to horror really got to her. Vengeful spirits, curses, the underworld, demons. She was quite superstitious and actually believed in the existence of all these supernatural phenomena. It didn't matter how many times I kept telling her it was nonsense. Once someone merely mentioned the word ghost, her stress levels skyrocketed. That was the very reason why she originally hadn't wanted to attend the party herself. Nevertheless, she'd promised Rai to come, because she was the kind of person who couldn't say no to her friends. And because I hadn't been able to say no either when she begged me to accompany her, I had ended up being here myself. I guess you naturally felt safer with someone else at your side, but I still wasn't sure what exactly she was expecting me to do here tonight. I mean, sure, I wasn't frightened that easily, but did that really do her any good? Well, I'm just glad you're here with me. Thanks again for coming, even though you didn't want to. I'll return the favor, promise. It's okay. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. We're friends. We stick together, right? Yes. Anyway, let's see what the others are up to, eh? Alright. EX page for Nobara's profile has been added. Nice. We better talk to everyone. Shit, this investigation is going to take the entire episode. Honestly, Tamashi-san, you cannot go around eating the decorations. It looks so yummy, but tasted like crap. Well, you're normally supposed to eat what's inside the pumpkin. You mean the candle? It's edible? Mika didn't know edible candles existed. That's not what I mean. What's going on here? Just Tamashi-san's usual shenanigans. Anyway, is there something I can help you with, Akadori-san? Shimpuki-san? Let's talk to Mika. She's fun. So Mika, what exactly are you dressed up as anyway? Nobara can't tell? Mika's the Reaper. Oh, so that's why earlier you said our souls are yours, huh? Hakukuku. Mika's gonna ski you to death and collect your souls. You know something? I just wanted to ask you. Why do you enjoy scaring others and playing pranks on them so much anyway? Why wouldn't Mika? Well, it's fun. Well, I guess so, but you tend to go to such great lengths just to scare something. Like, hey, you snuck into school the other night just to build that weird mechanism device thing that fired a piece of chalk at Kenji's face when he opened the desk the next morning? And ain't that a bit too much work? I wonder if it's really worth the effort. Of course it is. Mika will get ice cream after all. What? You see, during his school life, Mika's dad managed to give 107 students such a scare that they wet themselves. If Mika-chan can break that record before she graduates from high school, Mika's dad will buy her ice cream. For an ice cream? Wait, what? Seriously? That was her motivation? She did all that for ice cream. Mika's Gramps managed to scare the living daylights out of 69 students, and when Mika's dad broke that record, Mika's Gramps bought him a lollipop. I see. Looks like the scaring people business runs through the family then, huh? Aku, it's a family tradition. Even now, scaring people is the most important thing in Mika's dad's life. So your dad's still scaring people? Aku, Mika's dad scares lots of people every day at work. What's his job then? Playing a ghost at a haunted house or something? Huh? No, Mika's dad is a court judge. What did you just say? You mean like a judge at a tennis court, right? I can imagine him trying to scare the spectators. No. Court like in courtroom. Baro-chan and I shared the same expression of disbelief. How in the world was that even possible? Was Mika honestly telling us her father was scaring people during courtroom sessions? Death penalty. Nah, just kidding. I hereby declare you guilty. What? Just kidding. Yeah, exactly. No, she was kidding. She had to be. Otherwise, I was going to lose even more faith in our judicial system. Anyway, how many people have you scared so far then? 93. What? Already? Ain't you cheat? And you ain't cheating? Mika would never cheat. Mika scared them all fair and square. Only people who wet themselves count, and Mika can't scare the same person twice. Well, Mika could, but she isn't allowed to count them twice. So you basically have to scare 108 different people to break your dad's record, huh? Naku. How's your dad checking you ain't lying to him? See that skeleton button on Mika's breast? It's a camera. Mika always has to wear a button camera and film his scare attacks so Mika's dad can watch and validate them later. I was hoping so desperately that everything she was telling us right now was a big joke. Unfortunately, I'd actually met her parents during the last cultural festival and, well, let's just say I couldn't put it past them. Wait a sec. A camera? You telling me every time you scared me and I peed my pants, you actually taped it and showed it to your dad? Haku. Anyway, unfortunately Mika's camera ran out of juice, so Mika won't be able to film the glorious moment of Raiko's defeat tonight. But there's no reason not to try. Mika's scare score will definitely go up by 1. And everyone here will be Mika's witness. While saying that, she pointed her index finger at me, confidence burning in her eyes. A mischievous grin formed on her lips, and before I could even say a thing, she turned around with a loud, self-confident laugh and walked away, her long, torn scarf waving behind her. Why don't you just offer to buy her an ice cream? Who would have thought that she was even taping all this nonsense? Good to know her camera's not working tonight, but now that she's told us about that, I'm more resolved to never let her beat me. I certainly don't want to be... Baruchan? Oh dear. I guess that revelation had been a little too much for her. Nice. EX page for Mika's profile. I'm still amazed at how awesomely decorated this place is. I'm relieved to hear that. I'm sure Miyamoto-san would be delighted as well. It really is impressive. To think, just the two of us did all this. Two of you did all this together. Well, it wasn't just the two of us. We got additional help from Aiga-san. Oh? Carmen was helping out too? Indeed. However, Aiga-san and I actually didn't really do that much. We only helped with the food preparations as well as decorating the dining hall. In the end, Miyamoto-san did most of the work herself. The decorations were all done by her, for example. Wow. Does Ray always put this much effort into her parties? Oh yes. I know Miyamoto-san doesn't necessarily seem like that kind of person, but she takes these things very seriously. And here I thought all of this was just so she could seduce her Taiko. Of course, Kikai-san played a huge part in it, but ultimately, it's a lot more important to her that everyone is having fun. The whole day, she was asking me again and again if everything would be alright, or if we forgot something important. She might not look like it, but she's quite worried everyone here won't be able to enjoy themselves. Don't tell her I said this though. Interesting. I guess I misjudged Rai. This night seemed to be incredibly important to her, and not only because of Taiko. She did want all of us to have a lot of fun. It was true she always put this much effort into her parties. I really regret having declined all her previous invitations. It even made me feel kind of bad now. To think she always went through so much trouble, and I just said no whenever she tried to invite me, simply dismissing all her hard work as an immature waste of time. Even if I hadn't enjoyed being there, I still should have gone just to acknowledge her efforts. I really need to apologize to her. I truly hope you enjoy this party. Of course, I cannot tell you exactly what was planned for tonight, but I guarantee that you won't be disappointed. Looking forward to it. Me too. That's good to hear. Hero? Yo, Hero. What you doing all the way back here just by yourself? Hero? What? What is a cookie? Tasty? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have one. Before Baruchan and I had the slightest clue what the hell was going on, Hero snatched 2 skull-shaped cookies from the sheet on the table and stuffed one into each of our mouths. Then he took a third cookie for himself, flipped it in the air like a coin and caught it between his fake vampire teeth. Not as tasty as young maiden's blood, but delicious nonetheless. Yeah, they're really good. Verizon nifty cook. Foolishness, Nabara, foolishness. These masterpieces of cooking art were finally crafted with the utmost care by my precious little peach. You mean Momoko made them? Indeed. So what do you gals want? I'm not giving autograph sessions today. We were just curious about what you're doing here alone, was all. Apart from simply being awesome, you mean? Nothing really. Just eating. I haven't tasted all the snacks around here yet. So you're on a tasting tour, huh? Oh, by the way, your costume's really cool. I really dig that super long cape. You better be careful not to step on it, though. I wouldn't want you to faceplant. Come on, is there something as ungraceful as that would happen to someone as perfect as me? Although, I'll have you know that if it were to happen, it would obviously be the greatest and most epic faceplant of all time. Now I kind of want to see it. But anyway, you made your costume yourself? Of course. You think something as awesome as this was made by my fabulous self, but it actually wasn't. My little Peach made it for me. She started working on it immediately after Rai invited us. I think that was like 3 weeks ago. Took her only one to make it. Wow, she's very talented, huh? Of course she is. Just like me. We're the perfect match. Mwahaha. Although she's the one to be lucky that such a great guy like me decided to go after her. I guess you could also say that I'm really lucky she chose me over everyone else, huh? Even though I honestly see no reason why she would have gone with anything less than perfection. Oh wow, this guy. I'm surprised Zigo hadn't popped like a balloon yet. Well, you made a nice catch, that's for sure. If I was the boy, I'd be so horny for her too. Guess I should be happy and satisfied then, huh? You ain't? Whatever. Would you mind leaving me alone for a bit? I know I'm a cool guy and I can't blame you if you wanted to be near me. But even I need a couple of moments for myself every now and then. You know, to recharge that aura of awesomeness I'm radiating. Okay. And just like that, Hero swiped another cookie from the table, shoved it down his throat as he quietly walked off. God, he's such an arrogant wanker. What was that all about? He kinda ain't his usual self. Indeed. He'd been making some self-glorifying comments like always, but the fact that he'd been standing here all by himself instead of trying to become the center of attention was weird enough already. And his behavior just now. Something definitely seemed to be troubling him. Considering his reaction to Baro-chan's question, I got the feeling it probably wasn't as lovey-dovey between him and Momoka as he liked to pretend. But whatever the case, it was none of our business. So simply shrugging at each other, Baro-chan and I walked away, leaving Hiro by himself. Dude, this is gonna take a while. Just doing this talking is gonna take ages. Yeah, really bad today. What's up with those huge bags under your eyes? Didn't get much sleep again. Nightmares? Nah, I was watching porn all night, fapping into my cockpit. Dude, you can't be serious. Come on, it's totally normal. Every muchacho does that. Everything in moderation, though. Also, Raiko-chan and Nobara-chan are listening, so, you know. What? Hello, Raiko-chan. K-Tal? Just to be clear, I'm only thinking of you when I'm fapping. Dude, what the hell? Don't tell her stuff like that. Why not? It's a compliment. She's pure grade A fapping material. Just like Nobara-chan, and Mika-chan, and Karma-chan, and Momoka-chan, and him, and everyone. Doesn't matter. You're unbelievable. Sorry, Raiko-chan. Please just ignore him. Anyhow, can I do something for you? I really don't want to talk to him. Can we avoid talking to him? So, Taiko-kun. Yeah, also didn't customize yourself. Well, you know, that's just not my thing. It's just a little childish in my opinion. I just feel like I'm a bit too old for that kind of stuff. Yeah. What's so funny? You just sound exactly like Raiko-chan there for a sec. I did? Huh. Well, yeah. I guess Raiko-chan's the kind of person who would think that way. Anyway, always so mature and ahead of her age. Not saying that's a bad thing. On the contrary, who doesn't like mature girls? Besides, like I said, I share the same sentiments, and I'm glad I'm not the only one here who came uncustomized. Then again, Raiko-chan's at least wearing those cat ears, so I guess that could somewhat count as dressing up, huh? I guess so. By the way, the others were right in saying you look cute with those ears. You really do. Curses. This is getting more and more embarrassing by the moment. I can literally feel my face turn bright red, as though I was ready to self-destruct. What are you laughing about now, Nobara-chan? Oh, I just thought you two would actually make a fine pair. What? You seem to have a lot in common, and your names also sound a lot alike. Raiko and Taiko, huh? They actually has a nice ring to it, don't you think? Do I see a possible romance blossoming on the horizon? Baro-chan? Well, come on guys, just kidding. Why would she do this to me? As if this whole conversation hadn't already been awkward and embarrassing enough. Thankfully though, Taiko simply ignored her ridiculous nonsense and quickly tried changing the subject. Anyhow, like I said, dressing up isn't my kind of thing, but I gotta admit, I somewhat regret not doing so since Raikun seemed really disappointed about it. And I guess a big part of Halloween-themed party is to wear a costume. Oh, you know, colour-wise, your clothes kind of have this police feeling to them, so I guess one could say you're wearing some sort of pseudo-costume? You think so? This is my usual stuff I wear outside of school. But I guess you're right. The color scheme kind of resembles a police uniform. Yes. And this costume of yours even matches Kotoba's. True. Well, someone's got to keep that criminal in check. Speaking of which, I've always wondered how you managed to deal with Kotoba. He's just ew. Kinda hard to believe a nice guy like you are best friends with a creepy perv like him. To be honest, I sometimes wonder about that myself. Moment, Mal? What's that supposed to mean, Taiko-chan? Are you saying I'm annoying? Well, sometimes. Maybe a little. So you hate me? What? No, I didn't say that. You're tearing me apart, Taiko-chan. Hey, you certainly have your flaws. Well, a lot of them. But we know each other for a long time now, so you can say I'm used to it. I also know a few things about you others don't. You can actually be a really nice and serious guy. Granted, it doesn't happen too often, but as a friend, I know I can count on you. Usually. Well, what I'm saying is nobody's perfect. Especially not you. All these backhanded compliments. These compliments are more like slaps in the face. You've done a lot for me in the past, and I appreciate that. I never looked at it like this before. Most people at school probably thought a lot differently about me than Baro-chan, who was the only person who really knew me. Maybe it was the same with Kotoba. Maybe I was unfairly judging him due to the lack of information. In reality, he really had good non-perverted sides too. I just never got to see them because I only knew him from class and didn't spend as much time with him as Taiko did. Oh, Taiko-chan, that's so sweet of you to say. You're making me blush. And you're kinda creeping me out again right now. Taiko-chan, I don't know what that says. My body is yours. You can do me as hard as you want. Okay, I think I take it back what I said. What? And so do I. I'm not talking to you. Oh, okay. If you change your mind, just come talk to us. I'm always happy to see you too. Alright, last two. Really? Yes. That's why Kenji broke up with her. I never thought she was that kind of person. Guess you can't judge a book by its cover. Can't judge a book by its cover? But she of all people would dare say such a thing. Look who's eavesdropping. Huh? Oh, Raiko-chan. And Nobara-chan too. Yo. What do we do to deserve you blessing us with your presence, little Miss Grumpy? Come on, Carmen. Don't tease her. What can we do for you, Raiko-chan? We'll talk to the nice one first. Those ears are super cute. I can't stop staring at them. Where'd you get them anyway? My mother got them for me. Oh, I see. That reminds me, I never really saw it, but didn't your mum actually get you some kind of cat suit as well? Oh, I want to see you wear that. Wearing that atrocious piece of garbage again? I'd rather kill myself. So you actually wore it already, huh? Well, doing it a second time shouldn't be that hard then, right? Do it for us. Do it for science. No. I'd honestly prefer suicide over that. Don't say things like that. I know you're just exaggerating, but you shouldn't talk like that. Suicide isn't a laughing matter. You shouldn't take it lightly. That sudden look in her eyes, the cheerfulness glowing in them until just a moment ago had been utterly eradicated. Now all that was seeping through was sadness and pain. Even without her words, I could instantly tell that suicide was quite a sensitive topic to her. Maybe she dealt with it before? Or one way or another. Whatever the case, I'd only wanted to exaggerate a little, but I guess I should have chosen my words more wisely. She was right after all. One shouldn't joke about a matter of such gravity. Sorry, that wasn't my intention. It's okay. I guess I overreacted there a little. Anyway, let's talk about something else. So, how do you like it here so far? Enjoying the party? Enjoyment is something different, but I guess it could be worse. You're not the party type, are you? Not really. Well, I can kind of relate. I'm a little introverted myself, and I don't like huge parties that much. You're definitely one of them quieter peeps, although today seems a little to be different. A little more outgoing and talkative than usual. Maybe she's been drinking. I guess so. It's probably because we're not that many, and the few people who are here are ones from class I like most. So I'm feeling a bit more comfortable than at school. If everyone was here, I'd stick to Carmen and Hiro and hide from everyone else. Yeah, that'd be more like you. But since we're already on the topic, I've always wondered how some of the shows you actually managed to play in a band. And on a stage at that, like during the last cultural festival. It seems like quite a paradox, doesn't it? Well, music means everything to me. My dad's a guitarist himself, and he taught me to play since I was 6 years old. 6? No wonder you're so good. Playing guitar, making music feels so liberating. It's hard to put into words, but I just love it. When I'm up on a stage with so many people watching me, of course I feel nervous, but the moment I start playing, I just close my eyes and focus on the melody. That way, it's just the music and me, and I can forget everything else around me. That's how I'm able to play in front of a huge crowd. It's a neat trick. Isn't it? Took me a long while to figure it out though. Before I just kept hiding behind the stage and didn't dare to enter it. However, I couldn't always bail on the other band members and I didn't want them to kick me out, so... I see. Well, I'm sure glad you found a way to play on stage. Your performance sure was awesome. Thanks. Oh, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you this for a while. What's your favorite kind of music you have? And do you have any musicians you really like? Of course. LJ all the way. I really dig his raps. His lyrics are so deep and what? I see. Very interesting. I have to admit, his music is kind of cool, although I'm not really a huge fan of rap. What about you, Raika-chan? My favorite kind of music, huh? Death metal, I guess. I love the band Human Sacrifices a lot. That's kind of unexpected. Actually, I'm kidding. I see. Wouldn't have guessed with your expression. You have a weird sense of humor. I wouldn't have necessarily called it humor. I just kind of enjoy shocking people every now and then by saying things they didn't expect from me. Seeing their reactions was always amusing. So what do you like then? I'm not really sure. I don't have a favorite musician. As for the genre, I like a lot of music, but I guess I especially enjoy jazz. Ah, yeah, that's more like it. Death metal really doesn't suit you. I don't know about that. I can actually kind of see it. Yeah, me too. What was that supposed to mean? Anyway, that was interesting. Yes, very interesting indeed. I sure learned a lot about you two just now. You did? Yes. A person's taste in music can actually tell you quite a lot about them. It can? So what does our taste in music tell you about us? Sorry, not telling. What? No fair. Momoka couldn't stop herself from giggling. She seemed to be enjoying herself quite a bit. It was just like Bara-chan had mentioned earlier. Usually Momoka was rather shy and didn't talk much, similar to me. But today was different. I couldn't help but wonder if there was a special reason for that. You two are a fun duo. It's too bad we never talked like this before. I really regret that now. If we feel that way, we just gotta talk a shit ton starting now. Never too late to change stuff like that. We're classmates after all. We'll get a lot more chances to talk, right? Just gonna have to use them. That would be nice. I have to admit, I kinda felt the same. This is basically the first time I'd ever talked to Momoka like this, and she really was a nice and interesting person. To be honest, I also started thinking it was quite a shame I'd never talked to her before. I guess that was the curse of introverted people. It really is. It really is. Let's talk to Carmen. At least she's not going to say anything about fapping. I hope. So, you actually want to talk to me? What's going on? You feeling alright, little Miss Grumpy? Or did you hit your head? I'm still surprised to even see you here. I was certain you wouldn't show up, just like all the other times. Actually, this is the first time you're attending one of Rai's parties, isn't it? Some special reason for that? Or was the poor little thing forced to come here? I'm just here to accompany Bara-chan. What a surprise. Nabara's the only person you don't deem an entire waste of your time, isn't she? Anyway, guess that means I was right. You're not here of your own free will. But because of your friend, huh? In other words, you poor thing felt forced to come here. Once again, I wanted to say something to her, but I had no idea what to say. She was right after all. I certainly wasn't here of my own free will. If I hadn't promised Bara-chan I'd accompany her, I would have gladly stayed home. Nevertheless, I didn't want to admit that in front of her. I probably shouldn't have even answered her question to begin with. Poor little Miss Grumpy. You probably had more important things to take care of, and now you waste your precious time with us immature... Yo, Carmen, stop it. And here comes the lapdog. Just cut it out already, will you? What's your problem, anyway? My problem? I want to know what's hers. What's she even talking about? I wanted to know that myself. I was really sick of the way she treated me. It's about time to finally clear this up, so... I've not the slightest idea what I did to you, but it's obvious you hate me for some reason. So if there's anything I can do to change that, it's too late to change anything now. Still, there is one thing I'd love to know. Why have you become like this? What? What kind of question was that? Why'd I become like this? As in, why'd I become what you like to refer to as unfriendly, dead, emotionless, grumpy person? Why'd it even bother you that much? I knew myself that I didn't leave the best impression on others due to my rather unsociable behaviour. Most people ignored me because of that, which was totally fine by me. Carmen, however, was the only one who seemed to really despise me for my personality. What was I going to say? I simply was an introvert. I avoided social interaction not because I was shy or hated everyone else, but because it was kind of exhausting, and I preferred not to get close to others. Is it really such a big deal? A lot of people were like that, including your best friend Momoka, so I didn't really get why she had it out for me of all people. Was it simply the fact that, unlike Momoka, I was always so serious, didn't know how to have fun, and never took part in class shenanigans? I guess in those regards, that the me from a few years ago had been a bit different. However, if Carmen was expecting me to tell her about what had led me to the change, well, I don't know. What kind of answer is that? Oh, whatever. Not like I really care or anything. Anyway, would you mind leaving me alone now? Man, I really wonder why she's like that towards you. It's like you killed her puppy or something. You really ain't got a clue what you did to her? Believe me, I truly wish I did. Alright, we're done. We're done. I'm done with that. So we're going to wrap this episode up here, and in the next one we'll click the check mark and we'll continue the actual story. That was just the investigation and it took 40 minutes. And we didn't even talk to Fapping Man. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.